Hey guys, welcome to a day in the life of a bookkeeper. I like to do these every season or so because I feel like it's helpful for us as bookkeepers to see kind of what other people are doing, because sometimes you feel kind of alone, if you're just working from home. And so I feel like it's kind of good to get a window into someone else's life. So I'll tell you one thing I was just working on. So I have these 3 reimbursement forms from one of my clients. So one of my clients, they don't give their employees a debit card to spend money if they need to spend stuff. And so they just fill out a reimbursement form, and they're doing it paper right now, and then I write them a check. So they attach their receipts to the form and just tally up everything at the bottom. And for this client, I actually am a check signer, so I can just cut them a check and sign it. In the past, I've printed out a check, and then if there's someone else who is a check signer, then I will give that to them and they'll just sign it, and then I can distribute checks. So it kind of depends on how the business is set up. The bank only recognizes people that are officially on the bank account to sign checks. Maybe that's obvious. So I just finished that. It was quite quick, and it maybe took me 10 minutes or less. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into my computer, into QuickBooks, and record the check that I just wrote, so that when I give that to them and then they cash the check, I can match those 2 things together. And that system just helps the business know what is outstanding, what are outstanding expenses that we can expect to see coming in. And this was one was $600. So it was one was $145, one was $600 and some, which was a field trip, and the other one was $40 something. So that'll be under $1,000 total. All right, and I'll let you know what else I did this morning, and then we'll go work on my computer a little bit for this day in the life. And I'm gonna take off my necklace because sometimes it messes up the audio. But I actually had my necklace on and got a little bit dressed today because I went at 9 and I met with a girl who works for me. She's actually one of my friends as well. And so from 9 to 10, we just met up at a local coffee shop, and we talked about kind of marketing for my business. And obviously I do YouTube, so I have some other marketing things going on. But even as a bookkeeper, you can totally hire someone very part-time. She only works a few hours a week to help you with marketing, or to help you with whatever things that you don't like to do in your business. Maybe it's replying to people, or maybe you even hire another bookkeeper to help you with some bookkeeping tasks, and you can kind of streamline that way and do the tasks that you enjoy doing. So I have a whole video about that. And even if you're a beginner bookkeeper, I will encourage you that it might come sooner than you think that you're ready to hire someone. So just keep that in the back of your mind if that seems interesting. If you don't know me, I'm Morgan. Check out my website, FinePoints.biz. I have a few classes for new bookkeepers and lots of other resources on my website. You can also subscribe to my channel or join if you want to connect a little bit further. And this is where to find me on TikTok if you are there. And random side note, I put wallpaper in my dining room. This is my dining room. And I don't know, I was getting kind of bored of it. It all used to just be this green color here. It's a light green that I filmed in here before, but it just looks kind of blah. But I have no idea how it's gonna look on film. And it's kind of a very bold wallpaper. So I'm sure it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I like it. It kind of fits with the room in general. Then I put the mirror here, and it reflects these other prints that I got off Facebook Marketplace. Then I have a window in front of me that is nice because it provides a lot of light for filming. So let me know what you think of it, or don't let me know if you don't like it. You don't have to tell me. But I don't know, I just thought it was kind of a fun random refresh. So I was oh, I can just film right here, and it's a nice sunny day today. And I can tell you just a little bit about my general schedule as a bookkeeper. So today is a Monday, and my kids actually don't have school today, but they are hanging out with my mom. So they are having a grandma day today. They went to a local science museum in Portland. OMSI, if you know what OMSI is, leave me a comment. So usually on a Monday, I would wake up, maybe go for a walk and help my kids get off to school, and then I would start working at 9 a.m. And usually I work some iteration from 9 to noon-ish, and then I'll take a couple hours to do personal errands. And that of course can vary by day. So today, like I said, I met with Krista, who works for me. So that was kind of a little fun meeting out of the house. And then the next thing I did when I got home was I listened to an educational Zoom meeting, I guess, and it was about security for your bookkeeping business. So I'm a part of Bookkeeper Launch and the Bookkeeper Launch Facebook group. If you're interested in that program, I have a link. It helps me out if you use my link. It's in the description box. I really like the Facebook group because it's really active and there's a lot of helpful resources in there. So if you're in that Facebook group, it's back in February, but I had saved it so I could listen to it later because I'm interested in just security for my business, as we all should be, but sometimes obviously it's not like a big priority. So the whole thing was like an hour and a half, and I was listening to it on double speed, but I didn't get through even the whole thing on double speed. But if you're interested in a YouTube video about more about security, so far he was just talking about like password security, but I think he's going to go into other things like VPN. And I've done a video about that before, but I always like to learn new things about, you know, security and technology within bookkeeping. All right, so here we are heading into my office. I did not clean it for you guys, sorry. Have my water bottle, my heating pad, pens, etc. My picture of the ocean. And these guys, which are looking kind of sad, they've been in many videos. All right, so I'm gonna set you guys up here while I work on my checks. So if you're like me and you have a client who still actually writes paper checks, you need a way to get the information from them to you as the bookkeeper so you can put everything in QuickBooks. And you can do that a variety of ways. Maybe there's like an office manager who can have limited access to QuickBooks and they can type in the amounts and what's it for and like create a check within QuickBooks. For this one, I actually have like literal paper here that's sitting in front of me, and that is what helps me categorize checks. Or check images within the bank, like the bank will take an image when a check is deposited. That is becoming more and more common, so I think that's the way of the future that hopefully we'll all be able to use. But for now, for the ones that are not in the bank, I am going to use check stubs that I got from my client. That's true real paper. So I'm just going to log into QuickBooks and I'm going to be doing that. That'll probably take me like, I don't really know, I feel like maybe an hour, so I'm not going to show you the whole hour. This is also something that's kind of mindless, and so sometimes I'll like listen to, oh, maybe I'll finish listening to that security thing while I'm doing it to help me feel productive. This is one of the things that is just kind of like data entry as a bookkeeper, and every client is going to be a little bit different. They're going to have a different way of doing things, and some things you need to really turn on your brain and like think through. This isn't really one of those things for me, because I'm just basically like comparing one number to another. You know, I'm just putting one number from paper into QuickBooks. And I got my Intuit code, of course, never share it with anyone. All right, so I'll check back in when I'm done with this. Okay, I need you to answer in the comments if you know the answer to this. When I have a check image in QuickBooks, the image is really tiny on the corner of the screen and I can't adjust the window. Does that happen to everyone, or is that just me? So I have to zoom in with the like zoom button to read it. But I'm like, you should just be able to like drag it, because I have a lot of space on my monitor, but I just can't see that one window. It's really annoying. All right, I got through as many checks as I'm going to today. It's about 1:30, so I'm gonna go do like some cleaning in my house and stuff for a while until my kids get home.